Hey, hey, hey. And champ, it's your girl. We are on tonight. I missed you guys last week. My daughter was home. I had to give her extra time. So, we're going to talk about control this week because I have another workshop. It's the last one, guys, out of the series. It's on Saturday. I'm going to bring on my friend Laure so you can meet her because she's fabulous, and we're going to talk about all things control. Hold on, she's coming. She's coming up. Not you, buddy. Not you. This guy. He wants to be on camera. Do you want to say hi? Come here.
Oh, we're
Oh.
connecting.
Hey,
You see,
girl.
I went and put on some lipstick to look decent on this
Look
evening.
at you.
I
With
know,
the
right?
lipstick.
I never have lipstick on. This is actually my second live doing with someone in my entire Instagram going on everything. So, yeah, this is a big deal.
I love it. I'm so excited for you.
You?
I am doing well. I have been sitting at this desk since, let's see, 6 hours now.
Oh my gosh, you've been working, putting in that
Yeah.
time.
Well, I got up. I launched a newsletter this morning. So, by the way, guys, if you didn't sign up for Toilet Talk, we have Toilet Talk Tuesdays, which moving forward, we're going to talk all the things that need to go into the toilet. However, I launched the first newsletter this morning and wrote it up, sent it out. Then I got up and I went and did some yoga because I haven't done that in 4 days. And now my ass is sore. And then I stopped at a couple stores and then I came home and then I've been sitting here. I had back-to-back calls. I've been making content in between. All the things, all the things. So
It
how
feels
was your
good to be busy because the busyness has a bigger goal.
well, productive. So that's one of the things that a lot of people have to let go of control of that word busy and what they feel it means to them and what busy actually is, because
Yeah.
it's thrown around a lot and it's used as a huge excuse. I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm busy. And there's a lot of busy work, but the busy work doesn't mean productivity, right?
Yeah.
And so, especially if you have a business, you got to think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, your bosses think about it if you have a job. They're like, what's your productivity like, right? They may even say, are you doing busy work? Or
Her
are you being
mind,
productive?
her mind is magical said she has to let go of that word too.
Yeah,
Busy.
that's
I agree
girl
with
Chechi.
yeah.
She's magical. Chechi's magical. And yeah, a lot of us have to let go of that word busy, Chechi. A lot of us. And
Yeah.
that's
I don't know if I actually I use the word busy I use it as a guilt trip for myself. That I don't use it for others. Like I am quick to tell you, no, I just needed some rest, or I just wanted to have a quiet time. But when it's just me, I use busy as a guilt trip, like you're not doing enough, or you should be doing something. Why are you
enough.
doing
You tell
this?
yourself you're not busy enough.
That's
Okay.
what I use the word busy for. Yeah, for that, as a guilt trip. And that's not feasible,
No.
because we need that moment of quietness, that moment of relaxation, that moment to regroup, to reset. So, when you were little, like, go find something to do with yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
carry that on as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
On. So it's that's what I use the word busy for. And yeah, I need to let it go too.
Okay. We just deep dived into this shit. So I want to take a step back. Why don't you introduce yourself to the family out there in comment land and tell them who you are
Sure.
too?
People, which is what I usually start my live or my reel. I am Laure, the owner of Laure and Kush, which is a CBD infused wellness company, and I create body butters for those who experience discomfort. Please notice that I use the word discomfort or uncomfortable as per the FDA. They're not. They're listening. However,
true. You have to be more specific than me. I can use the word pain
exactly.
when I
So my
body butter, but they put so many stipulations over cannabis. You have to be specific with your words with what you use.
So
let's
be clear. Yes, let's be clear, people. My product have cannabis. Cannabis is a plant. Every pill that's created on earth is being copied by a plant that gives you wellness, that feel better. So my products, I use all natural ingredients, and I make it my business to use all natural ingredient. Real quick, I started the business because of another entrepreneur, my cousin who owns her own offices. She's a doctor. Because I had shoulder surgery and taking opioid was not helping. It made me high. I have to be honest with you. I don't like giving up control. Segue to what we're talking about, right? So being high gave me anxiety of not being in control of myself. But knowing that I grew up in an environment, I grew up around Caribbeans. I'm from Brooklyn. I grew up around Caribbeans, and I remember the Rastafarians and others using cannabis to eat, to heal, to do everything. Yeah. And that's how I came about using cannabis. So, hey,
there's so many indigenous that use cannabis.
Yes.
And then when the government came in, they took away that.
So
and
they took away the ability, because in the past, before the prohibition laws came through, doctors were prescribing the use of cannabis with their little script, with their little pads. However, when prohibition ended, the guy that was in charge of the the alcohol and firearms department was in fear of losing his job in his department, so he needed to find something else to put as an outlaw. And that's when cannabis came in, because at the time, those who were bringing in cannabis at the massive were the indigenous, as well as the Mexicans, who were truly celebrating their roots. And it was too much for the government, and he became afraid. That's just me putting it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. So my products,
thank you.
Yes. So my products help with knee soreness after you work out, or you've had yoga, or you've had surgery, or you're using it through while you're doing physical therapy. Whatever it is that you need to feel better for, it is there for that. Also, my products also gives you the relief until you're able to go to a doctor. So if your level is at a 10, it will help you. And I did use that word, but I should say if your discomfort level is at a 10, it may bring you down to a 5, maybe a 4, until you're able to get to that appointment. So that's what this is. So this is a little jar of wonder. It's about
wonder. I love how you called it that.
I use it myself. So I'm currently working and revamping and doing an equinox of the products. But yes. So that's me. Let's get started.
So where do you feel you are controlling your life? In what area the most?
Girl.
You are recognizing that it's holding you back.
I'm never in the moment. I'm never in the moment, because I'm controlling the moment, and I'm controlling what's happening for tomorrow. I'll give you a simple example of cooking. Okay. When I cook, because I'm so busy thinking about tomorrow, sometimes I overcook. Okay, we need to have something for tomorrow, rather than just enjoy the meal that you've made today, enjoy for today. And if it's finished, you'll find something else to eat. It's not like your fridge is empty. Like some people have one fridge, I have two. So that's that's like the simplest way of me showing how controlling I am.
Yeah.
And it spill over in relationships.
Yeah.
Spills over in relationships. So I have a hard time of being in the moment. I'm
Okay.
always thinking of tomorrow. That's the way that I was programmed. And I have a hard time letting it
Ask
go.
you. I was just going to ask you. Let's take a breath. Let's pull a breath in, and everybody in comment land can as well. Pull a breath in through your nose. Pull it through the back of your face so the belly fills up. We want to build the full moon in the belly. We don't want to sit into the chest. We want to hold it as long as we can and then open up our mouth and exhale it out. Take a couple more. We'll take a couple more of those. We'll all do it collectively because when we breathe together, we all start to sink together. And what that does is we automatically start to feel ourselves sink into our body. When we sink into our body, we're not letting the mind control. And that's another piece of control. When we
Right.
allow the mind to run rampant. And when we can use that breath, one, we turn off the mind. Two, we are in the present. And so anytime you are, let's say you're in the kitchen, you're starting to do the prep work and make the dinner, and you're starting to be like, oh, okay, we could have the, stop and take the breath. The breath is my number one tool I teach everybody in order, excuse me, to settle in and be able to, the breath is gonna segue you into so many things except being out of control. And that's the crazy thing about it, because my coach had a phrase that I used to hear him say over and over and over again, and I swear, like, I heard him say it over and over again. I swore I got it, but I don't know, it was this one day, because he did a call every week and I was on the call every week, and it was this one day, and all of a sudden it was like the light bulb truly went off.
Right.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And so the phrase is, you think you're in control, but you're out of control being in control.
You think you're in control, but you're out of control of being. Yeah, I hear my husband in the background with,
Frank is on it. I love that.
Lord have mercy. Oh, you should have been an 80-year
No.
Southern woman, like in her rocking chair going,
I love that. So when we use that breath, we allow ourselves to be right here, right here. We can't be in the past and we can't be in the future, because the breath shuts everything down and allows you to settle into your body. And when we settle into the body, we're settling into our heart space so that we can feel that love and that gratitude. We're settling into our solar plexus, our stomach, which is where that's our second brain, our intuition, our know.
Right.
People say their gut response, right? Because we feel it there. It's our confidence, our power, our esteem, our worth, our value. So when we can settle in, we feel it in the body, we can trust what we're doing right now in the moment is exactly what we should be doing, and not to be thinking about the past and not to be thinking about the future. Then settle it in more, and we go deeper into the sacral. And in our sacral, that's our creativity. Right? So we want to pull up that creativity. You got to breathe and push that breath down and pull it up, pull that creativity up. Right?
Question for you. When I do that, what kind of example would you give me so I know I'm really going there when I'm doing the breathing?
So you keep using that breath and you keep pulling it. You got to feel it in your body.
Okay.
So every day is going to be different. Just like people arrive in my yoga class and they start taking that breath because maybe today was real stressful and was really filled with a lot of oversensitive information and shit being thrown at you, right? And maybe the next time it's not that bad, right? It's a better day. So it just all depends on how much you have going on. But the thing is about that breath is that it's going to, once you're more aware of it, you're going to start using it all day long. And it's regulating the nervous system. So
Okay.
settling you so you're not building up that tension, building up that stress,
Yeah.
and getting
Yeah.
all up, right?
Right.
So the breath is the number one tool. The other part about the breath and settling into the body that plays a huge role with control is that you're going to allow your body now to start to guide you and tell you. So you're turning off the mind, you're allowing your trust that your body's going to show you the way, tell you exactly what to do, where to go, who to do it with, who to talk to, what opportunities to do. And in the meantime, what you let go of is the control of like everything. So for example, let's say it's a business opportunity. You can let go of the control of the outcome by breathing and settling into your body and feeling what's going on, because sometimes people are too emotionally connected to a business opportunity and the emotions are heightened and you don't leave room for this could possibly not work out.
Okay.
Because you automatically are trying to control the outcome. You want it to work for whatever reason. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's because you're new and you're starting out and you're like, this would be great, right? And so we settle in and we could connect with what is our real intention and does this fully align?
Okay.
Is every piece of it in the alignment for me or is it not? And that's a major piece that we are controlling too many outcomes with our life, with all different types of situations. And then we're mad when something goes wrong.
Because we were trying to control the outcome. There you go.
And we don't want to, the first thing what the ego will help you do is to blame something else. Oh, it was this, it was that person. It was when you got to take the responsibility on it.
Right.
You got to check in and say, what did I do? What part did I play in order for this outcome to happen?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And having an open mind to understand that not things are going to come your way, but not everything is going to be for you. We have to discern it. But control doesn't allow us that space. What in business that you're doing right now do you feel that you're controlling?
I can't say everything because we don't control everything. But what I do control is my consistency on social media. I'm in control of that and being present, and I'm controlling letting go of the fear of how I look to others.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's been
we're controlling that. You're showing up.
Yeah, like I'm showing up. It is what it is. Accept me for how I look. I'm not going to be looking like a video vixen. That's not happening. Those days are over. I've done them, been there, done that. However, I will show up like the woman that I am. So the control that I have of letting go of the fear of what others think of me. So I sit there and I do what I need to do for my business, and I'm open. I'm always open to inviting others to show me something rather than me asking for that something. I'd rather invite someone to show me what I can do better, how I can do, and keeping that person in my circle. You don't know what happens, how they can become friends or family or whatever the case may be. So
Exactly.
that's control of, I guess, becoming consistent with showing up with what I need to do to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, which is social media.
Yes. Yes. I love that.
I've told you, like, ooh,
And I see you, and I see you do it, and I'm so proud of you every time you do it. And I want to tell you that so that it gives you inspiration to keep going. When people see you and acknowledge you and say, I love that you're doing it, I love that you're showing up, more of that, it helps you to feel better about what you're doing.
Yeah.
So hey, Jessie. Marissa says that she loves that. And I know I have a couple of entrepreneurs as well in the comments. So
hi, how y'all doing?
If you guys want to chime in and you want to put what you're controlling in your business, go right ahead. And then we can talk about that too. So you're now being so much more aware of what you're controlling. What are you still doing that you know you're aware of, but you know you're also still controlling, whether it's in life or business, wherever it is?
Well, personal life and business are intertwined, particularly when you are the owner.
Yeah.
So, for me, just being able to, if something happens today, let it go. Like, I have a couple of friends, and also, all right, so you guys, I'm not one of those that like to say my husband, my husband, my husband, my husband, my husband, my husband. I'm just gonna say his name. His name is.
Listen, Frank needs his time to shine.
Right. So,
No, I don't.
so
I can't wait to meet.
I have friends and family members and Frank who they were born to let things go. They were born to just move on. Whatever happens today happens today. And I think I missed that line where God was creating me, that impatience.
Stops. That's
So
how it works.
One of the things that I struggle with is, if something happens right now, make it personal. I don't take myself out of it, because I'm trying to control the narrative on how I fit into this. I don't know if it's being narcissistic or anything like that, but mind you, it may have nothing to do with me.
It's not a narcissistic quality. I'm going to tell you.
It has nothing to do with me, or I may have made a comment or two because it was in my presence, or somebody asked me and it turned out the way that I played in my head by controlling it, that I'm like, now it went sideways. And I'm trying to bring it back to, okay, keeping it with me, because that's the only way that I know how to control, and then playing the narrative in my head and manifesting how the outcome should be. So I struggle with that personally. And then it goes into my business, like you said earlier. Sometimes when we go into business deal, we're anticipating what is going to be, and we're not giving it a chance to fail. And
or be something more than what we're thinking it could be.
So that's what I struggle with, because that's what I struggle with. It's not about me. Take myself out of the equation.
You're aware of it, and you're actively working on letting that go. So I want you to incorporate that breath, and when you're bringing this up, and also there's a piece of that, what's coming through is that there's a piece of that from your past.
Yeah.
That is the reason why.
Yeah.
And this is also why the type of life and business coaching that I do, I'm not the coach that's going to teach you processes and procedures. I could tell you some things, I could guide you because I'm doing it. However, how does that help you if the reason why you won't implement and do those things or be sustainable with those things is because there's still something from the past, part of the trauma, that needs to be let go of in order for you to really implement the processes and procedures. So that's where I say I'm the behind the scenes coach, that if you really want your business to take off, there's going to be things that we're going to have to work on that aren't like, hey, this is how you build your email list. But why do we not implement the steps and what we're taught on how to do it, right? Or let's say people teach you how to do social media the proper way. That doesn't mean you're going to do social media. Because if you can't show up on that video, if you can't show up in those pictures because of something that comes from the past, then there's no way. And you just wasted that money on a coach that just told you how to do all of the social media. Okay. So that's why I specifically, and I realized after learning the skill of letting go to help people with and go through. And you know, again, that's a piece that's ignored. People are controlling the business and they're like, oh, I'm just going to do this for the business and do this. And in a way, you know, a lot of us are programmed as employees. And there's a lot of control in corporate work when you're the employee.
Yes.
Or it's mom and pop or corporate. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Got to show up for yourself, Jessie. Yes. And so there's a program there for years. And then all of a sudden you decide that you want to leave corporate and you want to run your own business and open it up. But what people control is they're controlling that they don't understand they're actually not running the business as the business owner, that they're running the business as an employee.
Yeah, because I'll tell you one thing. Even at work, there's some decisions that are made by my boss. Sometimes I come home and I am, what do you say? Colorful adjective? I use colorful adjectives. And then Frank has to bring me back down to earth. He's like, no. That's the boss. That's how whether it works, it doesn't work. That's the whole point of business. You take chances. Like, that's the reality. And for a very long time, we sit there and we're moving as the employee that sits behind the cubicle and not realizing there are difficult decisions to be made. You can give your boss all types of examples, but at the end of the day, they make the decision on whether or not they're going to use it, and you got to be okay with that. Just like when you run your own business and you've made the decision to go to that coach and blah, blah, blah. The coach is giving you all of the above, but you're the boss. Are you going to use it? And a lot of the time, you go into that employee mentality. I'm not doing what he said. Like, I don't want to be bothered with that. That's, yeah. I'm just going to. And then when that money, as that's what you really want, right, is not coming in, you're like, well, what's happening?
Right. And there's control there. There's control around money. There's control in families. There's control even with parents with their kids. There's control with your feelings and your healing. You know, people control not letting themselves fully feel. They stop themselves because, again, that's a programming from childhood. They were told, you know, what are you crying about?
Yeah.
You got nothing about, you know. And so we were taught not to fully feel our feelings. And so now as an adult, we're controlling that still. And we stop ourselves. Like, we may start to get emotional if we're having a conversation with someone and stop ourselves from fully letting ourselves be emotional in that moment, letting it fully come up and out, because we have shame around doing that in front of somebody.
Yes. Or the first thing we do, we say, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm not telling you I'm sorry, I'm upset, and I'm crying.
Correct.
However, it goes to control. I will not cry in front of you. There are few people in my one hand that will say, I've seen Laure cry.
I used to be that girl.
Yeah. And I have to be honest with you. Here's the part where you're feeling yourself. You're like, it's a blessing for you to see me cry, because that means I've opened up. I decided to be vulnerable, and that's controlling the narrative.
Yeah. That's got a piece of trust behind it. Not being able to trust who you're with, you know, that you
I'm such a crybaby, Jess.
yes,
Girl.
I'm a crybaby now too, but crybaby in a good way. I cry a lot for happiness now and joy. I get, because the thing is that when you fill yourself up and then you have that match of energy from
Mm-hmm.
the side, and somebody else is appreciative of you or loving on you or supporting you, but you already filled that up inside yourself. It's like an over, I always say my heart is so full. I'm like a broken record because my heart is so full,
Yeah.
because just like all of that. And then I'm been crying more of like feel
Yeah.
good, like happy.
I
You know?
appreciate those who are able to show emotion easy, because when you're quiet about your emotion, you start to become petty,
Yeah.
and then you're becoming resentful because here you are unable to really show your emotions. So he's like, I'm going to show you. Let me see. So now you punish the person by not talking to them, being around them. So you're trying to control that. So those
Yeah.
who are emotional, I don't want to say emotional, those who are able to express their feelings easy, I love it.
Yeah.
I know what I'm getting, and I know how to react, and I know how to behave and to be sensitive and give grace. Because when I know, go ahead.
Have you started to feel into, since you appreciate that, have you started to feel into giving yourself a little leeway to start to do that?
I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Why? Um, in the past, no. Now I do because of jujitsu.
Mm,
When you are in jujitsu, there's no such thing. You got to give it all.
mm,
You have to give it all. You have to be vulnerable, and you have to be in control at the same time. But
mm,
if you're trying to be in control, you're so tense. This is when you get hurt. You got to let loose.
mm-hmm.
Working on it, because there was a time, I think 4 weeks ago, I caught a panic attack in
Ooh,
class. I did. I caught a, I'm prone to get panic attacks if things don't go a certain way.
yes.
So I caught a panic attack. Like I really had to stand to the side, breathe. I literally had to breathe and do my
Yeah.
all of that. Then I had to sit down with crossed legs for a minute and
Mm,
just, because I was thinking so hard of how to get over my opponents.
mm,
He was just doing his thing. He wasn't even thinking about me. And I'm sitting there thinking about him trying to get control. And I couldn't get in. I was getting pissed off.
wow.
And I caught a panic attack because I was trying to control him. In the meantime, he's doing his thing, kicking my ass. And I'm like, so yes, I'm still struggling with it.
That is an amazing example, by the way. And what you're learning with jujitsu is really amazing for your life. I
Mm-hmm.
that's really powerful.
I have to say,
Or
if you have been able to get a coach, one, and you're able to bring a sport that challenges your mental too, you become a force to be reckoned with.
yeah. Yeah. The thing is that when the body's involved, which is why I do love my in-person workshops, because I do physical activities so
Yeah.
that the body is involved. So we can, the thing is that the body's the last to catch up in the healing process, because we ignore it a lot of the times when we're healing. We spend a lot of time, we can work out the mental part, the emotional part, right? We can work out some of the spiritual part, but we ignore the body. And the body's the last to catch up in the healing. And that's why I say the breath is so important, because the breath allows you to bring yourself into the body so that you connect the body. And that's what I have everybody do in my yin yoga class, is to pay attention to the body more. And when we leave a pose, when we did one side, we don't directly go right into the other side. We stop in the middle. We continue to breathe and we connect. How does that feel in the body? Where is it feeling? Feel the side that we did that now feels better after you were breathing through it, or we move into the other side. And then we see how we feel when we complete both sides, right? So I use that, and I will still in a coaching session tell people they need to get in certain yin poses, because what I learned from yin was yin allowed me to stop controlling things. And I learned how to breathe more, and I had to sit there in the poses. See, because what we do sometimes in some of these physical activities we do is that we want to move from one to the next.
Real quick.
I bet you do that in jiu-jitsu. And I know sometimes I do it. I see other people in yoga doing it, right?
This real quick. Yes, because it hurt.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the thing is that I always say the phrase in class. I go, I can tell how you do life by how you do these poses in class.
Yes, you have.
Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you sit and you breathe 3 breaths and then you want to move out of the pose because it was too much, I know that you're automatically giving up on yourself a lot in life. And you're pulling yourself out of things too quickly. You're not allowing yourself to sit in it. And that's part of control too.
How about some things I procrastinate because I don't want to sit in it and go? Yeah, there's certain things I'm, and that's why the word busy. This is when busy comes in. I'm like, I'm tired. I don't want to be bothered. And I'll literally wait at the last minute and then put it together. The only good thing is that sometimes it works and sometimes I'm like, I feel cheated.
So procrastination really is lack of inspired energy. So now when you think about the tasks that you want to do for your business and you're seeing that you're doing other things, but you're avoiding this other one, and you're kind of like, I really need to do that one, but it's a bigger one maybe. So it's going to take more energy. It's going to like, you got to give it more, right? Maybe it's more thought process. Maybe it's just it's going to take you a little longer to do whatever it is. The thing is, though, is that you're just lacking the inspiration behind it. And more than likely, it's because something about that thing that you have to do, again, is tied to something from your past that is stopping you from doing that, right? So when I look at what I'm doing for my business, and I sat here for 6 hours today, there are things that have been checked off the list. And then there's still where I'm like, oh, you know what? I didn't designate time for my learning because I'm still doing a program. And I went back to another program that I bought like 4 years ago that I'm like, I need this in my life right now. And I want to schedule in time for it, but I also had a shit ton of calls in between. So I'm doing all these things in between. But the thing is that like, even like on one piece of content I was doing, I felt like I was having to force it out because I wanted to get the content done. I stopped myself now. I pull myself back. I was even taking the breaths and it wasn't coming through. And I was just like, you know what? I was listening to the one thing for the one piece that I wanted to get back into. And I just realized that, you know what? I don't want to do that. My body is telling me I need to listen to this right now. And I have to tell you, I sat back on my chair like this, and I was in somewhat of a meditative, such a calm, soothing way, listening to her speak. And I felt so much lighter. And then after that call was over, I went and completed like 4 pieces of content. So procrastination falls under lack of inspired energy. Again, pulling that breath down, pulling up the stuff from the sacral, the creativity, right? So, but the thing is that there's going to be the blockages of what we're still holding on to. And some of that stuff we haven't worked through the root of to get it up and out. So that's where we have that disconnect that falls into play. Jessie, you are amazing. I didn't ignore your.
Oh my God. Well, they all are. Hi, Nicole.
All my ladies are amazing, including you.
Great. Oh.
I love that you're doing more yoga, Jessie, and I love that you're breathing more, and I love that you're taking it into your life on a daily and doing that, because it's very important. You definitely, it's the secret, and that's the thing that people don't realize, is that the breath that we're doing subconsciously that we don't have to think about is not the breath. Yeah, it's the one that keeps you alive, but it's not the one that keeps you alive, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. I caught on. That makes
sense. So, one last thing.
What's that?
If you know what? No, let's go. I want you to envision.
Okay.
Anna Nicole, sorry, hold on. Anna Nicole, I'm not in Metuchen anymore. I resigned from that studio. I'm in Westfield on Thursdays at 7:30. Send me. I'll send you. Okay, so I want you to envision. So if you got to take another breath, and I want you to envision, what does life feel like if you were to let go of the control of the things that you're controlling right now?
In one word?
No. Girl, you know how much I talk.
I can tell you one word.
Oh, okay, good. Go.
Free.
Right. And so that's the power of letting go. It's freedom. It's feeling, you feel lighter.
Yeah. I feel lighter. My biggest thing is not worrying about what others think. But that comes from my
filling up, how to do your I am list, and that's a more filling up of your self-love.
Yeah. So
and you don't give a fuck what anybody says, because your bills, girl.
Starting not to. It took work, which is why I've always been intentional about surrounding myself with those who don't, so I can learn from them. Like, my friendships are intentional.
Yes, and they should be.
Very intentional.
It's so
funny.
Yeah.
I always make sure I befriend a person that's extremely graceful. I have that. And I befriend those who are extremely quiet, because there are times I'm then I make sure the next are those who, I don't care what you think of me. I pretty much, they could walk in a room full of vultures with their head high. So all of that would be free. Yes. That's what I imagine.
Your homework is your breath, more your
that. Yes.
I want you to pull in that energy of feeling that freedom, because what it will do is it will allow you to feel inspired, and it will shift your energy that you will want to work on those pieces that you got to let go of the control of. Because when we can feel into the end goal of what we want,
right,
pull it here, we have the feeling of it. So the thing is that what we're feeling that comes from here, we don't want to feel that anymore.
Got it.
Which is the prime example of when you do something, like, here's the the biggest and best example that everybody relates to ever. You go on vacation, and vacation is fabulous, and you have the best time, and it's the best food, and it's the best experience and the best place, right? And then you go home.
Okay.
And it's the feeling of you lost that. That doesn't feel like that. But if you brought in that feeling and held on to the vision and the feeling of it, you can create your home life to feel like you felt on vacation.
Okay, so yes, for me, coming home and being home feels like a vacation because I created a space.
I did too.
That I walk in, you're either walking into a yoga studio, which is the energy, or a spa. So that's number one. Number two, as far as vacation, I am always happy to come back home because then I get to work on the next. So, but I get it because in the past,
he said before.
Yeah, that's my attitude.
On to the next.
Yes, that's my attitude. I am always, and then this is where I need to be present. Because I get to vacation, I'm enjoying it, and I'm like, okay, I need to go back home so I can work on the next one. So sometimes I have to enjoy that vacation because I'm already thinking about the next place. But when I come home or on my way home, I'm like, yes, all right, so let's do this. Let's make this happen so I can come back and do another one. But yes, you're right. You're right. Creating that
piece of that, that control you have about chasing that feeling, you don't have to chase it. You just have to pull it in and cultivate it. And you have that feeling in you every day. Like, feel like that every day. Because then what happens is we realize we become more in line with what we're supposed to be doing in this world. And realize that when we have something that doesn't feel good anymore, it pulls our energy, it's draining our energy. And then we get to a point where we don't want to do that anymore. So you disconnect from it. And the more you keep doing that and the more you keep pulling in and doing the things that feel good, one, your energy increases. I promise. Yeah. I'm rarely ever tired. I'm only drained tired when I do energy work because of everything comes through feeling for me and through my body. And sometimes things linger. However, I have people tell me all the time, how do you always have so much energy? No matter what time of day they see me. And the thing is because I am no longer doing anything that doesn't feel good for me.
Wait, hold on. Do you find that when you no longer, this is you and I kind of going off. Do you find that a lot of the time when you're no longer doing things that works for you, that others trying to bring you into those, you're like, yeah, this ain't working for me, try to bring you in and make you feel guilty?
Well, of course, people always do that. Okay. They want to, because people, when they see you doing something that they're, and the back end of that is that they're jealous of it, they want to feel that way too. They want to do that thing too. Okay. But they don't have courage and they're not doing the work to do that, right? And so they're going to try and keep, but that's where your boundaries and that breath and settling into your body, you know what feels good and what doesn't feel good. Like I really had to say, I can't go to group sound bowl healings anymore, which kills me. I love sound bowls. I listen to sound bowls every night on YouTube to go to bed. I don't do group sound bowl healings anymore because I don't fully receive the benefits from it. Because when I'm there, I'm opened up for healing. And then if I'm open, then I'm going to feel everybody. So I went and supported my girl this past weekend, but I didn't sit there to receive or lay there to receive. Okay. The bowls came through because I even did a little Reiki on my friends, and my hands were amazing because of her bowls and her sound healing, but not for me to sit and receive. And the thing is that I have people who are like, oh, want to go to that? Or, like she wanted me to come and invite me. And I told her, and I said, I'll be there. I'll be there 100%. I love to support people and I want to be with you, but just understand I'm not going to lay there to receive from you. And I don't want you to feel any sort of way. It's not you at all. This is me 100%. I know me. And I'm not going to do anything anymore that I know doesn't align with me.
Got it.
She didn't make me feel guilty. It wasn't that type of a thing, but that's just the example I could give you to understand how your boundaries and settling into your body, and you know what feels good for you and what doesn't feel good for you. That's what you got to just keep moving forward with in that feeling. That's why it's so important to settle into the body, why it's so important to do the healing and let it come up and out of the body so that the body can be freer, can be lighter, so you could feel it. My gifts are coming through even more because of that.
Okay.
Let go of even more things in the last month, that I'm feeling things so much more intensely. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday and they started to tell me something a little bit deeper. And I was like, I need you to stop and take a breath, because this went like,
gotcha.
They got deeper. This went like this. I felt it. I was like, I need you to stop and take a breath, because you just activated your heart. Your shit's going. I need you to.
Gotcha.
On Sunday, I was at the event and it was a lot of energy, and I had a slamming headache here, and I never get headache.
Energies, yes, got it.
Me, and I said it like 5 times, and finally somebody from across the table goes, oh, I have a headache. I just took an Excedrin. And I'm like, yeah, does your headache happen to be on the left side? And my friend who knows me and heard me say it 5 times, she's like, she just said that somebody here has a headache.
Oh my.
And that's the thing for me, because of the way gifts come through. So what that does, I don't look at that. I'm not trying to control it. I don't look at that as a bad thing. What it does is that's what I call my superpower. It allows me to be the best coach that I could be for people, because I'm 100% in connection with you, that I'm helping you. I know exactly where to work through things with you, because it comes through and I'm being told. It is not a guessing game. It's not let me go through a million questions, because that's what I was taught in school, because I have a diploma. Like, this is gift from God. God wants you to feel good. God uses me to help you feel good and guide you through it. And my gifts just come through differently. Other people have them and they come through at different times. You know, some is seeing, some is hearing, but mine is all feeling. So you got to let go of the control is all I can say, which just is a shitty statement to tell somebody. However,
it's a very honest and truthful statement to tell someone that needs to hear it. Like, there's just certain things you can't fluff it.
No, you can't. You know I'm not the fluffy.
This is one of them. You got to get rid of your control, because this shit is not working.
Fluffy kind, but not the fluffing kind.
So,
but I know people are tired of hearing me say, you got to let that shit go. You got to let that shit go.
So if they're tired, that means they're not ready to let it go. And then I'm sorry, it's heavy. It sounds like those are baggage that needs to be let go. Like the Erykah Badu song said, "Bag Lady." Like I mean, come on. Like, seriously, it gets heavy.
Yeah, it does. And it weighs, and then it turns into sickness, and people don't realize that they controlled that sickness. They controlled making themselves sick.
Yes. And I'll tell you this, I learned, so my left, you know how in the yoga poses, it's particularly one when we have to squat.
Yeah. The Malasana squat.
Yes. My left side of the groin area hurt like crazy.
So inside is the liver meridian, which is where you hold anger. The liver holds anger. So you have
now what the hell is going on? Because and all the years that I've done jiu-jitsu and whatever, all of a sudden this area hurt. I'm like, this is not supposed to hurt. Something's going on. Something's going on. And I remember you and Vanessa saying every area that you do a pose and it hurt, there's something there that you need to let go. Yeah. And I tell you, okay, so that's what it is. Because I'm
same shit.
like, yeah, you get sick and all that. I'm like, well, this is happening, and I don't know what it is. And no matter how many times I do a pose in order for me to stretch or whatever the case may be, it is still there.
So
Now
two
that,
pieces that you could leave with for that.
mm-hmm.
One is that could be you controlling, not allowing your feminine energy to come through, but you're mad at yourself from past versions of you. Two is that it could stem from the feminine in your life that you're angry at from growing up and having, like, for example, I would tell you my example, because of my narcissistic mother, a lot of my shit sat in my back, hip, my ass on the left side. My left sciatica used to always be the one that flares up. Like, it was always all on the left. And that's the mother wound that I'm healing, that I've been working on for the past 4 years, and allowing my feminine essence to come through. But again, remember the other piece is also the pieces of you.
Mm-hmm.
When you didn't allow your feminine essence to come through, and maybe even now fully allowing your feminine essence to come through, which the not allowing the crying is part of not allowing the feminine essence to come through.
Hey, I'm this in.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's about looking back on the past versions and taking it, okay, anytime our adult self, whether it was our 30s or 20s, and then going, okay, our teenage self. That bitch is always angry, I will tell you right away. The teenager, she's a raging lunatic. She still comes through sometimes, raging lunatic, if something happened really bad to me. And then you go like 12-year-old prepubescence, because the hormones and everything is really high at that time, because we haven't cycled yet, but it's all starting to shift and change. And then you got that 10-year-old, that 8-year-old, and then that 7, 6, 5, which you go backwards because we suppress the memories because of the pain from it. So it's harder to say if you start, ooh, my 5-year-old self. You can't sometimes get in touch with that 5-year-old self if a lot of the memories have been suppressed and shoved down. So work backwards in a way. And each version you have to look at and work on what is coming up that deals with whoever was involved in it. Offer them forgiveness and appreciation and gratitude and for the lesson. And also then the piece of you for the role that you played in it and what you did. And offer yourself appreciation and gratitude and forgiveness. Oh. So it's always two pieces to it. Mm-hmm. And again, somebody can help guide you to do that. Like I just explained how I do it, and I do that with you. But a lot of the work is done in your breath and you taking time to sit with yourself. And then also, as you work through your day, talking to yourself as if you're two people. And I know it used to get labeled as, oh my God, you're crazy, you talk to yourself, but I swear to you, my healing moved along faster because I just started to talk more out loud to myself and tell myself the things like, we're safe, we're okay, we're loved, I love you, it's so regular that as soon as I get in the car, I look in the rearview mirror and I go, I love you, girl, I love you, those are things that I do all the time now.
So I think you just answered Jess's question.
Yeah. So Jess, what happens if you taught your mind to forget to get things purposely? So it's a defense mechanism that we do. And the best way I can explain that is, and we're all women, right, is that you'll hear stories of women who have been sexually assaulted, and they'll tell you they had an out-of-body experience where their body, they shut down because it's so smart and it's so amazing of what it does to help protect us. Mm-hmm. And so we do that. And we did that growing up as kids too. There were things that we grew up with, and we did certain things so that we didn't have to feel what we were feeling because of what we were experiencing in the home. So how you work through that is you have to be able to allow yourself to want to bring it up and feel it and sit in it and recall the memory. And that's the root. And that's what I work through to get to that root. It's really not as painful, and it doesn't really take as long as we think it does, because as soon as we have the awareness, as soon as we get into it, it's there now and it's open. And then you just have to nurture it and continue to heal it after that. It's the piece where if you're not going to continue to nurture it afterwards and then fill it up with love, that you're going to have the emotions sitting here at the surface level, and you're going to notice that everything is going to be filtered by those emotions.
Right.
I try to revisit my past for my healing journey, and it has been hard because I truly and honestly can't remember. Yeah, so there's a piece that you're also still trying to control it, Jess, and you may not be ready, and also maybe you're trying to jump too far. Like I just trying to work backwards. Like maybe you're trying to jump too far, where it's a process and everybody has to go through it differently. But the majority for people, because of the suppression, is we got to work backwards.
You know, so, you said that. I can remember where all of it stemmed from being 4 years old and becoming an adult.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a bit
at 4 years old. For one, because I have to say, I don't have children before. All of you mothers who are single mothers, I tip my hat to y'all, because I could imagine what it's like having to leave your kid to go to work because you're the only one having to do it. So having to know how to behave and, you know, make sure you don't speak, make sure you don't this, make sure you don't that, which is where the control started. Control yourself, behave yourself, you're this, you're that. So I can actually, as you were talking about going back, for the past couple of years, the number one age that comes to mind is 4 years old, because that's when it started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is I want you to nurture that 4-year-old. And I want you to allow her to show you how to have fun. Because the thing is that part of the healing journey is allowing yourself to do fun things that light up your inner child. Like I always explain and say, when I tap dance, my little girl is the happiest she ever is in the world. Nothing else matters. It is pure joy. And I am so fulfilled when I do that. So the thing is when children have to grow up and be more adults and not get to be kids, which the kid is fun, free.
Yeah.
That's where free comes into play.
Yeah.
Spontaneous.
Yeah.
Feral. Right? Like you gotta allow that now. So it sounds silly, but color. Go to a park and go on the swings. Go jump in puddles of water. You know, like, and all the things that you see kids doing, you gotta do, because I promise you, when you do the things and then you talk to that little girl, she's gonna tell you if she had fun doing that. Maybe she doesn't like doing that other thing, but she wants to do more of that thing. And you're automatically going to have some healing occur because she's happy.
Got it.
And she's gonna tell you how happy I am. And then she may cry and say, we weren't ever allowed to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you're just going to fill her back up and reassure her, well, we're safe now and we're loved now and we can do those things now and we're going to do more of those things together.
Got it.
So I'm going to leave everybody on that note. I'm going to remind you all about the in-person workshop on Saturday, which is March 23rd. It starts at 11:30. It's at Brassy Buddha Yoga Studio in downtown Westfield. The link is in my bio. You can also send me a message and I'll send you a direct link so that you could sign up. The tickets are $55. And we are going to be sitting and doing exercises and things that we work through like this. And a little more intensely. And the thing is that when we all come together and we talk and we tell our story, what has happened in the other two workshops is that somebody wrote an answer to the one of the questions when we first did the journal part, and then they heard when the other person shared, and they had a memory recall, and they didn't realize that that too was also a part of the issue, and their recollection of what they experienced with it, and then also what they saw their family members experience with it. And so that's what coming together does. It amplifies what you think, again, controlling what you think would happen and what you would, the outcome you would have at a workshop.
Mm-hmm.
And then having all the energies, and everybody is always aligned wherever you go. Everybody always shows up at the place they're supposed to show up, and everybody is always aligned in some way or another, which is why when you're out and you meet somebody and you're like, oh, da, 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 oh, you're from there, oh, my cousin went there, that's for a reason.
Right.
It's because we're all brought together for a reason.
Right.
So you go purchase your tickets for Saturday. Again, I'll probably be turning these workshops into an online thing for people who are far, and for those who, you know, just don't have that time in their schedule to come out, because I understand work, family, kids, and all the things. I'm going to try and make it more convenient for people. You can also sign up for Toilet Talk in the link in my bio. You can also sign up for a one-on-one complimentary alignment call to see what we would work on, and if working with me as your coach works and we're aligned. And Laure, what do you have going on with events, with the products, with online sales? Tell the people so they can buy the things.
So as of April, I am introducing a new product, which is a oil. Rather than dipping your hand into the jar, you can spray oil into the area that you're feeling discomfort. And I'm also doing an expo. It's called the Sisters Expo. It's going to be at the Marriott in Newark Airport. I will have everything on my Instagram, and also sign up for emails at Laure, LAURE, ANDCUS, as in Sam, .com, which is where you can visit my website and check out what I have going on. But more so, you get updates as to where I am going to be, where exactly is the expo. And also, I am outside this summer, meaning I'm doing a lot of fairs, a lot of pop-up, and because I just like doing them, and then also pay the bills. So we all about that, right? But mostly I like to really get to meet the people that either follow or have purchased from me, because it gives me a better chance to say thank you personally, and also trying to get ideas like what you think I should be adding on, what do you think I can do better, because we can always do something better. So what's going on. So this April, the Sister Expo in at the Marriott at Newark Airport. In May, I will be in Montclair at the Food Truck Festival, and then in June I will be in West Orange, and I'm also doing something on April 27th, right, Danielle?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I'll do that together, or Laura may be there. We'll see what happens with that, but it's union.
Yes.
But you know what? I think you're gonna have to put all those dates in a thing.
So
yes, for all the people.
We put that up. It's the Sister Expo, and if just to give you quickly,
what's the Newark one?
It's the Sisters Expo, Sister Expo. So the reason why
the
date April 20th, 420, the day of 420. Yes, 420. It will be from 12 to 6. I'll have the link. It's a Saturday. I'll have the link. There's going to be a couple of people on the panel. I think there's a celebrity that's going to be speaking. I've actually gone to one of the expos. That's how I found my attorney to do my trademark. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And it was very affordable for those of you ladies who are on the live about business. So it was great, and you got a chance to see a lot of different things.
Mhm.
So that's what I have going on. Trust me, I will keep you updated because I am being consistent.
Because you're showing up for you now.
Enough for me now.
I
Yay.
love you.
Yes. So I'm so glad everybody is here. You guys have made this so wonderful. I appreciate y'all. And that's all some of my friends on there. Yeah, they came through. So I appreciate you guys coming. You are so wonderful, Danielle. I just want to tell you. Wait, hold up, Jess. Let me try to make it. Am I
Oh,
doing
I just learned this.
Jess is
I
the
swear. I love you, Laure. I love you so much. And we got to get back on our walking. I love you.
Sure, but I just want to give you your flowers for doing this. Yes, for being such a great person and all the great energy, and also telling you. Oh, I'm sorry. No, don't worry about it. I'm sure you can pass on the information to another person. We are sharing with all female and male. Trust me, you can. I hope you caught some of it while you were here. Um, but yes, I want to give you flowers to say that I do. You have a great soul. I do appreciate you doing these series and also allowing people to feel safe.
Mm. Thank you.
I do appreciate that. Um, and as I've told you before, when I'm quiet, I'm taking it all in because it's kind of like, okay, the hamster in my wheels, like, okay, she said this. So just want to say thank you for having this segment, this live today. I appreciate you having me. I'm honored to be on there. Like I said, this is my second time ever
I
doing this.
know.
Okay. Um,
Thank you. I love you. You
I
know I love
love
you.
you too. Oh my God. Listen, I might have a lot, but I came for Danielle because she's an old friend through my
So
late grandmother. Isn't she awesome? I'm
I,
glad you came for
I
Danielle.
met Kiam when he was like, I think 8.
And
I
thank you, Kim.
I don't remember how old he was. He'll know. Um, I went to his grandmother's house like the first year I started doing life insurance. And
You guys have
yeah,
been there.
yeah.
Been ever.
He and it was amazing when he sent me a message and found me online, and I
Mhm.
instantly Kayam. I'm sorry, Kayam. I'm sorry.
I
Uh,
am. Right. Yes, it does. Hello.
uh, how I instantly had the memory. 14. Okay. I instantly had the memory and remembered who he was. And that's beautiful for me
Wow.
because
Well, nice
I,
to meet
no, no, I've been doing what I do. And since I started to develop in sales, which that was my first year, and
you. Mhm.
changing who I am and bettering me. And so that's a beautiful memory to have and for it to come full boat, and he's a great supporter. He really is. And thank you, Jess. I love you. I
Yeah,
appreciate you. You're amazing too.
sure.
And Marissa was here, and anybody else, if I missed y'all or you didn't, I know Roxanne jumped
Yes.
in. But we love you all. Everybody who is in comment land and there with us, there is the replay. I gotta go take a bath because my ass is sore.
You've been putting in the work.
All right. Good night, Frank.
Downstairs playing
Oh,
his
we went downstairs.
game. That's his
Oh, my son.
I watch reality TV. He does video games.
Yeah.
It
Good.
works. Yes.
Laura, have a good night, babe.
Talk.
Bye.